I do. Yo, what up? What up? What up? Up, people? What time it is? It's not. It is actually Thursday. It's the No Man Fantasy Sports Podcast. It doesn't matter what day, what time, but it's 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube and Twitch tonight. It's your boys, the No Man Fantasy Sports Podcast. Yo, what up, people?
What up?
What up?
What up?
Tonight we got. I guarantee you got some scragglers coming in here. But first and foremost, I want to say what's up to the nation, the greatest nation in the world, the No Man Nation. What's going on, nation? Hope everyone's living a dream. And you know what did Robin Leach say? Champagne, carry our dreams. Champagne wishes and carry our dreams. That's what he said, didn't he? Hold on. Why is YouTube giving us problems, man? Oh no, we're live. We're live on YouTube. It's back out.
It's working.
Let me tell you, I want to like to say a shout out to my man Belly B. Belly B's in the building? What's up, buddy?
What up, my guy?
He's my friend. He may not be yours because he has a bad attitude at times. And, you know, he released a video a little too early this week before he knew we were 2-0. My man, bro. What's up, buddy? We'll get to what I mean by 2-0 in a second. What's up, sir? Yes, I'm talking to you. You can't respond to me now? What are you, mute?
What's up, man?
This guy. Anyway, we'll get back to him because he's having technical difficulties, apparently. We got the greatest co-host in podcast history, the three-time. Actually, let me do it. Three-time fantasy football champion, my man Wes. What's up, buddy? Yeah, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm feeling good, man. Real good.
Speaking of feeling good, we got Jay Curbs in the building. He's making sure that his nephews are to bed. Put the chair in the bed. If they're below a certain age, put the chair into bed because this show's going to get a little raw tonight. Because not only do we have, I got to give this guy, first time on the show, got to give, what the hell, bro? Got fucking spaceships flying in front of his face. First time he's on the show. Let me tell you, son, this man is the number one man in media, straight up and down. If you watch this guy's videos, the editing is perfect. The guy's amazing. Love this guy. Has been a huge supporter of No MaaM since day one. Ever since I've known this man for now, we're going on almost 3 years now. This man has supported me, bro, the entire podcast, Drew, Belly. He just met Wes, but I bet he supports him too. Jay Curbs. And although you see the name New England Shakeup, that's the name of his podcast. He is a Boston Celtics fan. And he agreed today to come onto the podcast and talk a little bit about the basketball series. But to my friend, welcome to the show for the first time, my main man, New England Shakeup Podcast. What up, New England?
What's up, man? Appreciate you having me on and a lot to talk about, especially with what's going on.
Listen, this man deserves every bit of respect in the building every day. This is my man, 50 grand. I respect him so much that I've stopped talking about what his team's gonna do in the upcoming football season because he's asked me politely, so I told him I'd stop doing it. But my man, best looking dude on the podcast, got the greatest waves on the podcast. I'll say that.
That's a bit much.
My man, Drew. What up, Drew?
Yeah, what's good, people? My apologies for my lateness.
Technical
difficulties with the computer.
Calm down.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. In the building. This is my people. I know I had some beef with two people on the panel, but this is my guy. My man Finn's Plug is in the building on YouTube. What up, Fins?
What's up, Vincent?
On the YouTube side. We got Drew on the YouTube side. What up, Drew? Before we go any further, though, and we don't usually do this, but I need everybody on the panel, everyone in YouTube and Twitch land, send your prayers to my family. My aunt is in the hospital right now. A little right now, but shout out to my aunt Sherry. You know, I love you. I know you watch this podcast all the time, so hopefully you watch it tomorrow and you get better. So
Prayers up,
that's
prayers
what's
up.
up. Shout out to the sponsors, Dr. Drains. Look, if you're feeling backed up, call my man Dr. Drains because he'll unplug you.
Oh boy.
So I'm back, baby. I'm back. That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to the Comedy Zone Charlotte and Comedy Zone Cherokee. Coming soon, the first ever store to carry No Man merchandise on a regular basis. Just signed a contract the other day. We're putting stuff in people's stores now, people. So listen, you want logos, you want merchandise, I can stand up and show you what I'm wearing, but this is a new design. Who did we lose? Oh, anyway.
Furniture moving.
But yeah, no. We got a raised hand. Hey, look. I mean, as a former instructor, someone raised their hand. I got the perspective. So, yes, Mr. Bro, you have a question, sir.
So no, I don't have a question. In the light of you shouting out the sponsors, we do have a sponsor who is very close to returning to society. So I just want to give a shout out to Mr. Tough. Lavishly Tough is a upcoming brand. I'm telling y'all now, this dude mind is crazy, and when he touched the streets, bro, I promise y'all, we gonna be on the bigger and better things. I promise y'all. So he's on his way. He has some great merchandise. As I was trying to do before to get everybody's sizes, that didn't work out. He wants to do that while he's here. So I can just tell y'all, man, we about to be decked. We about to be lavishly tough. And I just can't wait, man. So shout out to Tuffy, man. He'll be
Extra
here soon.
large.
So, yeah, I actually had the privilege of speaking to Tuffy over the phone, and we are going to do a lot of collaboration work, him and I look, man, it's not even about second chances, it's about a new life and a new beginning. So we about to represent. Breaking news. Can I get a breaking news sound, Belly B? There we go. Breaking news. So apparently, or allegedly, as they say these days, allegedly, the No Man brand has been challenged to a sports knowledge check, I guess you could call it. And look, I'm not here to throw shade, but I'm just not moved by our opponents.
Nah, man, listen, fuck that. I'm gonna throw
that,
shade,
right?
bro. I'm gonna throw shade, bro. Listen, I'm not moved by anybody who argues with their podcast members. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, we got a squad here already waiting for you guys. So JB, or anyone who knows JB and you're listening, JB, hit me up. You know, you're my guy. Well, you and I will talk, we'll work it out. We'll bring it to the podcast. I'm just gonna let you know. He may not have it in his name, but that guy at the bottom right now, that he's on my team. I'm just saying. If I just listen, I just want to say this right now. If I don't need to even take part of it, I can host the whole thing, right? That's what I do. But Wes, Kirby, Belly, Bro, Drew, and New England, I'll put them up against anybody. So again.
So yo, Mitch, their name,
what'd you say?
Their name is quite fitting because everything they say, I'm not moved.
I mean,
I said that. I'm not moved by podcast members that argue with each other, bro.
And then at the end of
Yeah,
the day,
Drew, I'm not moved when one of their co-hosts say that Reggie White wasn't that guy. I'm not moved.
I'm not moved when people like to have debates but don't know about the sport they're debating about.
I'm not moved when they are trying to make a quarterback comparison and use QBR as their first example.
You know what? I'm not moved when you say 2015 Cam Newton's better than what was that 2013 Peyton Manning.
But I'm not moved when you say Ric Flair is not a Hall of Famer.
I'm just gonna say this. I
got a last one. I'm not moved when you say Shaquille O'Neal wasn't good with the Lakers in the finals. Just saying that's 33, 14, and 3. Just for the panel in 20 games. So
Bro, you want to take us home?
Well, I just will say I could care less about being moved, and I would hope that their knowledge is much better than what I just heard.
That's
Right.
definitely not.
Me.
That's
So,
definitely not.
Right.
I'm going to embarrass you. So I'm just saying.
So again, JB, you're my boy. Hit me up. We'll make it happen. It'll be an exclusive on the podcast. You can invite your families. We'll invite our families, and then afterwards we'll pick up the scraps. And listen, you
yo,
never know.
JB, I'm gonna be honest, bro. He's being nice. You're a whole bitch, bro. I'm sorry.
Speaking of whole bitches,
Shots
that's a
fired.
great segue.
More
That's a great
bitches?
segue. Speaking of whole bitches, I can't even do it because my boy's down there. I'm just gonna be like, so Jason Tatum,
Yo, I said this today, bro. He's the Dak Prescott of the NBA.
Damn.
no,
That's a bit much. I mean, Dak has not won a Super Bowl at all. So, I mean,
Yeah, we're not going to compare those two.
No,
I get the
it's
comparison.
definitely true. Fine, I'll say he's Matthew Stafford. How about that?
Okay, there we go. That's
what I speak of and
That's fine.
what we're going to talk about first tonight on the podcast, just because it's so fresh and so clean, and my man's here, so I mean, I might as well talk about it.
Yeah.
So, as you know, we didn't have a podcast on Tuesday. Shout out to my son and his team that lost, but they lost. You know, it happens.
Big L, Big L.
But you know, it's Luke, so we love Luke. Shout out to Luke. We on Monday night we had the Knicks game, Wes, and if I'm not mistaken, we came back from a 20-point deficit at one point, and we won the game. Right, great game. And then I was talking stuff to Belly B, but he was nowhere to be found. I had to put out a milk carton.
Nah,
With
well,
Knicks on the side. Like I didn't know what happened to him, man.
let's not do that. I was there.
I'm just saying, right? And so then last night, kind of the same scenario, Wes. You know, like we were down by 20.
Right where we want. Right where we want.
The Celtics decide that they want to miss 75 3-pointers in 2 games. And so now the Knicks are up 2-0, going back to the Mecca, the Madison Square Garden, New York,
The real garden.
for them to get
Facts.
swept.
That is facts.
So
that's actual facts.
I'm
Not
just saying,
swept.
like I said this to New England earlier, and this is just my honest opinion, that if we come out and we win this game on Saturday, the sweep's happening the next game. It's a wrap. Wait. We got a shaking head. I'm not a non-biased because he just likes basketball. He doesn't like a team. Drew, what do you got?
Non-biased. While I do think that is a thing, like anything can happen, I just don't see the Knicks, because no offense, but the Knicks do Knicks things, right? They go into the holy grail of basketball, and then the Garden is rocking, and then Jalen Brunson, let me knock on wood. Jalen Brunson rolls an ankle. Cat goes 5 for 20 from the field, and he's crying for fouls, and the Lakers lose by like 25. But then get a gentleman's sweep back in Boston. So I just think that might be the thing.
But do you see the Knicks winning the series?
I can see the Knicks winning the series.
Okay. Oh my God, with your hand. Yes, little boy. Can I help you with your
Well, so first of all, I decided to do something different rather than just scream over everybody and try to talk over everybody. And I
Where's
apologize for being more accurate with raising my hand.
Well, don't worry. Reese isn't here, so he's not going to yell at you.
That is true. So here's the thing. I said this to you about 2 hours ago, maybe 3 hours ago, that I think in order for the Knicks to win this series, I think this game, whether it's a win or not, I think Cat has to have a great game. I don't think he has to have a double-double game. Those are things that he should do with his size and his skill set. I think he has to have one of those games where, you know, we looking at the Knicks as a team right now. Jalen Brunson has had so much on his shoulders the entire season and in the playoffs that he's the one guy that can take the weight off his shoulders. If he goes for 35 and 15,
it's a wrap.
That's success for the Knicks. And so regardless of what transpires with the duo over there with Jaylen Brown and Mr. not showing up late, but I just think that has to have a great game. And I agree with you from the standpoint that if they win this game, it could easily be a sweep, but I'm not going to take away the pedigree of a champion.
That's fair.
Regardless of what, those guys are still the defending champions. They're still guys that they know that at the end of the day, we going to talk a lot of shit. And we ain't the only ones going to talk a lot of shit if they lose this series, regardless. And so I think that's going to play
Especially if they
into
get swept. Especially if they get
well,
swept.
no, if they get swept, the trade's happening. Jaylen Brown is gone. You're going to talk about the breakdown. You're going to talk about potentially different players not being there. They're going to break that team apart because you got swept. And so I don't think they're going to get swept. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think they're going to get swept. I think even if you guys do win the third game, I do think you'll win the series, but I don't think you'll sweep. I think it'll still be a win. They'll show some pride because if you look at it, think about it. You talked about a 20-point lead that they blew, which means they were doing the right things. They just sold ass late in the game. And then, like I told you earlier as well, if you look at those shots that they missed from 3-point, yeah, you can look at it and say they missed those shots. I'm looking at it from the standpoint that they took those shots and the Knicks couldn't stop them from getting them.
Right.
So
Right.
as great as the defense has been late, I still think there's some things that they can clean up. And I think this series is far from over, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go to New England first, and I'm gonna go to West, and then we'll go to the other
Okay.
Boston fan, and then Kirby, I want to get your take on it as well.
So my take on the first two games is, well, the first game, obviously a 20-point deficit for the Knicks. You're thinking, okay, well, the Celtics, they probably can score 10, 12 more points. They can put this game away. And I've had this, intuition with this team for the last couple months, and I'll tell you guys exactly when I had it. You guys remember when the Celtics played the Cavs a couple weeks back in March, right? And the Celtics were up 25-3 in the first quarter and ended up losing the game. That was a telltale sign for me that when they get big leads, they can't hold them. And also another statement that I want to make, just because somebody has a bad shooting game for 1 or 2 games, I don't think it's fair to just blame a player for 1 or 2 games. Now, if Tatum continues to have bad performances for the next 2, maybe even 3 games, then you point the finger at him. But until then, I don't think we can do that just yet. And that's my take on the first 2 games.
Okay. Wes?
I'll start by this. I agree with bro. I don't think the series is over. I'm glad we in the 2-0 position going home. The fact of players performing on the Knicks side, I don't even think, to be honest with you, the Knicks played their best game yet. Like all around game. I agree with Cat has to produce. I think he learned something last night that he's the biggest guy on the court with Porzingis not out there. He can take advantage of Al Horford and whoever else Boston throws at him. But what I see out of these last 2 games, to me, is the substitutions that Tibbs is doing in the fourth quarter. I think with the Knicks, their worst defenders are Brunson and Cat. And Tibbs is taking them out in the fourth quarter and bringing in the defensive guys. And I think the way Boston plays, where they search for matchups, they have difficulty finding matchups with that defensive group on the court. Mitchell Robinson, shout out to that air ball, probably the worst free air ball.
Dude.
That was rough.
Air ball free throw? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, come on, man.
But I just think that defensive group that they put out there with Bridges, Hart, OG, Mitch, and Deuce, I just think the way Boston plays, where they try to find the matchups with that pick and roll, it's that group switches versus when you have Brunson and Cat out there, where those two go under the screen. That defensive group in the fourth quarter, they fight through it, and I think that's the difference in the last 2 games. I don't think the media is making a big deal of it. They're just saying that Boston's missing open shots, but I'm like, they're getting open shots, but that initial defense on the ball is different with that second.
And Mikal Bridges has been fucking lights out, like defensively. towards the end of the game. I mean, the kid is
But
man.
it's that defensive group. When you
Right,
got
right.
5 guys sold out on defense, that's the whole defensive group looks like individual defenses look different. Versus when they trying to take advantage of Brunson being little, and Cat, so on the defensive end guarding the rim.
I think part of it too, Wes, is that the Celtics and the Knicks, like the Knicks match up well with Boston. They have the wings to be able to switch, especially on the perimeter, and I think that's huge.
Right. I agree. All right, Belly.
It's simple fact is they went away from letting Jaylen Brown run the offense, which was producing. And I don't care what New England says on his little video. Jaylen Brown has been the most consistent offensive performance for Celtics in playoffs the last 2 years. Yes, he has. Let's not do that. So don't say he's underrated. But they took away him running the offense, and on defense, you didn't see Drew Holiday do what he normally does. Not you, Drew, but the one on Holiday break, obviously, because it was going underneath screens, something he normally doesn't do. And then you were switching Derek White onto Markel Bridges. It was bad. Like, they need to tune that shit up and actually come out and play a game instead of chucking up 75 threes and missing half of them when they had production driving the paint. And then we will have a somewhat series, unlike Indiana, who's going to sweep Cleveland. But that's neither here nor there. Okay, I'm done.
Mr. Kirby, your take on the Knicks series, and then we'll talk about your series next as this game's
To be honest, I don't know. I told Ryan today, don't be dependent. I don't want you to depend on a guy whose initials are PP.
Best perimeter defender we have right now. Stop it.
So here's my thing, and we can end the Nick conversation on this, bro. I think there's a lot of validity to what you and Drew said, right? The New Yorker in me is knowing that these motherfuckers are going to be lit off the planet the next 2 games at home, right? And so and that helps a lot, and that can hurt you too. But let me ask you this. Do the Knicks get more shit for not closing it out at home?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Most definitely.
I agree. Like,
if they let it get back to Boston,
it goes 2-2-1-1-1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, like, let's just say hypothetically, I don't want to say it, but let's say Boston does tie it up. Let's say they go to New York and they win 2 games. Let's say they do. Then it's 1-1-1. It's 1-1-1. So you go Boston, New York, then back to Boston. If they have to go back to Boston twice, I don't know. It could
look if it goes to a game 7, Boston wins the series.
Yeah, I was
about to say you need to win one of the next 2 games.
Yeah.
You need to.
Yeah, we need to at least win one at home. We need to win. If we like I said, if we win Saturday, I think the Knicks sweep. Period.
It's over.
I think it's a sweep. The Knicks are going to win the series, even if it's not a sweep. If they lose Saturday and then they win, we play Monday or Sunday? Monday.
If you play Saturday, then you'd play Monday.
So Monday, and we win Monday, then I still think we win the series. One game at home, we win the series. That's my opinion.
You're true to that. Like what Drew said, Knicks could end up doing Knicks things. Lose 2 there at home,
but that's the Knicks of the past. We're not the same team.
So, but I don't even think it's on the Knicks as the players. Like I told you earlier, bro, in our phone call, if Thibodeau loses another series, being up 2-0, he's fired the next morning because it's showing the consistency of not getting the job done when he's had the better team or the team that has had a lead and he loses the series.
Not only will he be fired the next morning, he'll be beat up.
He'll be fired the next morning because if you look at it, it just as well as the players are to go on the court and perform and be there in those clutch moments, it is his job as well to put them in the best positions to be successful. Right. And in those 2-0 moments, he's lost in Chicago, he's lost in Minnesota, I mean, he's been up constantly in Chicago outside of playing the Cleveland Cavaliers. He lost to the Boston Celtics. He lost to the Atlanta Hawks. These are series that he continuously lost after being up 2-0. So to me, he can't afford to lose, because if he gets fired from this job, the next job may be coaching and not head coaching.
Right.
If he gets another job. You know what I mean? So I think he's coaching, for more than just this series. And then think about this. He has the defending champions down 2-0, right? He has the champions down, defending champions down. So if he loses this series, I don't think it's necessarily on the players as much as it is on him. So.
And, on the other end, Boston, right? I think if Boston does lose this series, something has to change. And I was saying this earlier.
Yes.
In my honest opinion, there are 3 contracts that Boston cannot move off of: Porzingis, Drew Holiday, and Jaylen Brown. They're going to have to trade someone. And the only big trade value name that they can move off of without having a huge salary cap hit and be able to get either a big market name or a big, draft return capital is JT. He's been there, 7 years now? Just about 7 years. Are you going to give him a max deal with the same situation where, and I know everyone likes to say that this is JT's team. Fine. I'm not going to argue that anymore. But in reality, it's not. We've seen last year it was Jaylen's team.
Brown, yep.
We've seen multiple times throughout the season where it was Porzingis, Drew Holiday, it was Porzingis, Derek White. There were and not to bash JT, but I said this in the Discord. At some point in time, we're going to have to stop overcompensating for Jason Tatum being this top-notch player when, he sold the bag twice.
Facts.
He sold the bag twice. You had the ball in your hand. You made a sloppy decision dribbling the ball. You put yourself in a position where you allowed Bridges to effectively take the ball away from you, and you lost the game. I need Jason Tatum to be somewhere else where he can be just as effective and it be more meaningful for him in his career. If he continues down this path, we're looking at him forward.
Real quick, Billy, before you go, I just want to let everyone know that it's storming like a mug out here. So if I get knocked out,
Right, me too.
Yeah, so we're getting
don't bump your head. Just don't bump your head.
Real, and I'm with the whole aspect of JT moving if they lose the series. Would it be too far-fetched to say that with that being a contract that you got to let go of, right? How much it opens up potentially? This is just me spitballing this, Drew, towards you. And this is one of my things I need to say is, could you see them moving JT and Horford for the likes of Giannis?
Horford is not a trade value, bro.
But
he'll retire.
As an additional piece, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you could see JT and Giannis being the focal point if the Celtics lose of a trade happening,
I see them moving off of Hauser. Who's the other guy that's
Cornette?
Cornette. I don't see, to me, that's not a bargaining chip, right? Horford is at the far back end of his career, right? He's not moving that needle. If he's going to Milwaukee, they're going to put him on waivers immediately.
I'm just saying in general, you're going to see an aspect or something like that occur where JT and Giannis, if they were to lose. My other thing is, somebody said earlier, say the Knicks lose. Say they lose 2 at home, and not saying it will happen. Say they lose 4 straight, and they lose the series in New York. Not only do Thibodeau be fired, but do you think that man's going to need a police escort out the building? Because everybody's going to want his head.
He won't. He won't. He'll have an
Yes,
executive.
Trevor, you have a question, sir.
I don't have a question. So I like what Belly B just said, though. I would take it a step toward Arizona. Instead of it going toward Giannis, Kevin Durant's not going to be in Phoenix, I believe, next year. You take JT and you take Kevin Durant and you swap out, and maybe you take something from Phoenix that they may be trying to get rid of in the third team to say get rid of a guy that has a no trade clause and send him somewhere where he can be competitive for a championship because it has not worked. I think they're going to break down what's in Phoenix right now because it has not worked. And so I could easily see Kevin Durant ending up in Boston as well. If you look at JT and the money that they're going to give him, he's a team guy, meaning he you can say what you want about in the moments of his teammates helping him out and put him, and the team in better spots. Look at JT as well. If you look at especially in the fourth quarter, he hit some big shots. He missed some big shots, but he also hit some big shots. And so to go to Phoenix, it would give him a breath of fresh air. Phoenix would be able to have some flexibility to go in other places after potentially getting rid of a guy that they got from Washington that has not worked out, and they probably would wish they can just get rid of and be done with it. But you pair him with a Devin Booker, you allow Devin Booker to be the two, you put JT at the three, he's in the West, he's gonna have to grow as that player that Boston was thinking he would be. And in Boston's case, you don't lose nothing by adding to Kevin Durant. You actually gain by getting a guy in his prime, on his way out the door, but ready to win a championship. And so I think for Boston and Phoenix to somehow work out that trade, I think that would be the best look for me.
So would you say that you could potentially see a Kevin Durant, Grayson Allen swap? Because they're wanting to get off of Grayson Allen. So I mean,
but that's not the biggest.
I don't talk about Grayson Allen because he is the Duke Blue Devil ex-player. And if I was to ever see Grayson Allen, I would probably tell him that he's a piece of shit. And so just from the standpoint of playing for Duke and being as dirty of a fuckface as he is, I like to stay away from him going anywhere. Hopefully he can retire early. That's how I feel about Grayson Allen. So, just keeping it real.
I knew
send him to the Hornets so he can be back in North Carolina.
Oh, hell.
Send him to Chicago. There you go. Send him to Chicago.
Why you want him to go to Chicago?
There. Well, because I'm a Bulls fan, but I don't cheer for the Bulls as long as they have Mr. Touchy Philly that people don't want to admit is touchy Philly. So as long as they have him on the roster, I will not be cheering for the Bulls. I love the Bulls, but not on my watch.
All right, so moving on to the next Pacers.
Okay.
Up 2-0. I did not see that. I don't know if anyone saw that coming. But Tyrese Halliburton is a fucking animal. You saw that coming, Wes?
I talked to your brother about it. I wish Stino was on here because the way the Pacers play,
Stino doesn't love us.
That's not true. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that to my 2%.
I say what I want to say.
He'll be here. He'll be here. He's taking care of some stuff. Don't talk about my 2% brother like that, please.
Well, first of all, how about this? Hold on, Wes, and I apologize, Wes. I love you.
Go ahead.
So I just want to give this to Stino and Drew. This is for you and Stino. Let's get that established.
See
okay,
that?
Go ahead,
Weave.
All right. So the way the Pacers play with their up style, that upbeat style, that's a bad matchup. And when I saw Cleveland with 3 starters out, I was like, wow. I was surprised Cleveland was up so much. But
so right, isn't that concerning though?
But hold on. But even though Donovan had about 48 that game, if you look at the energy he had to get to that 48, I knew, okay, if Indiana gets this close, Donovan's going to be wiped out because, and if you saw it on that foul shot, he got beat. Because I forgot the dude's name who got that dunk on the free throw, and he kind of landed on Donovan. Kind of looked like Donovan hurt his neck.
Right.
That's a fatigue thing because you can't be. You need to. It's the game on the line. You need to get the rebound. You can't be. You can't get beat for that. But like I said, Indiana's style is a weird style to play with because you can be up big, and then they can go on a run like a 10-0 run, just like that. Now, I didn't see Halliburton dancing and step back and hitting a game winner like that. But
And then holding his,
he got big balls. Balls.
What was
yeah, like
Pedro Serrano? He did the
Yeah.
Pedro Serrano.
Yeah.
That was a great sell.
That
That
was
was a great
being a
celebration.
Knicks
I'm not
fan
gonna hold you.
playing Indiana the last 2-3 years, I kind of see their style. Like, man, you got to be prepared to play that style because even though you may think you up, they can turn it on in a run in like 3
So
possessions.
who do you? So
Yeah.
if we win the series, who do you want to play in the next series? Denver, Cleveland.
It don't matter. Like I don't think like that. I don't want to think ahead. Like I'm still like I said. Like I said, I'm up 2-0 on Boston, but like they said, I'm not comfortable.
Right. No.
Like I said, like the Knicks are a better road team this playoff than they are at home. So
Right.
I do think that
Say that again, Wes. Say
No,
that
don't say
again.
it again. Don't say it again.
At home.
Shut up.
Say that again. No,
like bitch, you got to look how they played the Pistons.
No,
we
I
won
get
one
it.
home game.
I understand.
We won 3 road games against the Pistons and one.
I understand.
One home game.
Hold on. I understand. But here's my only thing I'm going to say about this.
Well,
Shut your face.
just saying.
What I'm going to say is this: is that it's different. It's Boston. This is our Achilles heel, bro.
I get the rivalry, man.
This is more of a more recent rivalry, and the way that this generation handles the crash outs that they go through, they want Boston more. So I get what you're saying, though.
The Knicks fan, like I don't know what Knicks fans why they would want Boston because Boston's been whooping the Knicks for a long time.
Well, because we want to beat them, and that's what.
But I get it. So I get we want to beat them. That's different than doing.
That's true.
We are doing it now.
All right.
Listen, I don't want you hanging out with these guys anymore because
No. But I'm realistic, Mitch. Like I said, I've been a Knicks fan for too long to get my hopes up.
So have I. But Wes, this isn't the teams of the past. They are built a little different. This team.
Why do you feel that they're
because I feel that there's things that this team is doing this year that they've never done before.
Wow, we went to the second round last year.
Yeah. And then not only that, I also keep in mind this is not the best Knicks team we've seen. This is the best version of this Knicks team that we've seen. If you look at the team that went up against the Chicago Bulls and went up 2-0, that was the best Knicks team in my opinion. In 92. That was the best Knicks team I've ever seen that I thought had a great chance to win a championship, but obviously Michael Jordan had other thoughts. Yeah. So I get what Wes is saying. Wes is spot on. If you look at how they play at home, it's because it's comfortable. It's not the world against them. The same effort hasn't been put. Think about this. Think about prior to the playoffs. What has the record been for the Knicks against the better teams in the league? They have a losing record by far. So my point is, and I don't want to speak for Wes, but my point on it is that I agree with you from the standpoint that this is a great team. If you look at my backup page on TikTok, you will see that I chose the New York Knicks to actually represent the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals. And so I'm not speaking from a standpoint of hatred. This is honesty. Cat has to step up. Your coach has to step up, and they have to have a even better outcome when it pertains to team aspect at home because they haven't been playing that well in the Garden. They have not.
Right.
You know, it's not that he don't want them to win. It's just that they haven't been playing good. I think that's what he means by that. So.
Absolutely.
And I think you're right. And again, I'm not arguing that point. I'm just saying that to me, I just feel that this team, after doing what they did these last 2 games in Boston, if this doesn't motivate them, nothing will. I'm just going to say that.
Is it fair to say? Is it fair to say that this is the best scoring Knicks team that we've seen?
Yes.
Like just offensively.
Yes.
Really?
In a long time.
Name one.
In a long time, yeah.
Name one.
I can go to the Knicks playing against the Miami Heat in the playoffs. That was a very high scoring team.
That Allen Houston team?
No. The Carmelo Anthony team. They just dealt with injuries. If that team doesn't get injured, we don't know what that team is like in the second round or the finals, in the Eastern Conference Finals. talking about scoring. We're talking about just scoring. We're not
Just
talking
scoring.
about the team as a
No, just
defensive
scoring.
team or who could beat.
Just scoring.
And
Just
another
scoring.
team that I thought was a very high scoring team, the Knicks team, was the early '90s when Patrick Ewing was just getting it together. I want to say like '90, just before they start getting to. They had a bunch of guys, bro. They had the coach of the UNC Tar Heels right now. They had Patrick Ewing. They had Charles Oakley. They had, and you
John
looking at
Starks.
just being from a defensive, John Starks. They also had what's the kid? May he rest well. With the handle, he always loved to dribble. He averaged like 14 points for his career. And this year, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in 1990, I don't want to say it because I don't know if it's true, but I want to say 90 was his best. Mason, Anthony
Anthony
Mason.
Mason.
Anthony Mason was a double scorer from the bench. They had a very deep team in '90, and so again, if you look at the Chicago Bulls not being there, the Knicks is the representation of the Eastern Conference. Say what you want about the Detroit Pistons, and rightfully so, but they had hit their mark around '90. They hit their mark already. You know what I mean? So if you look at the next team, it was the Bulls, the Knicks, the Pacers, the Atlanta Hawks that were the next guys up, as far as leading the conference. Obviously, we see that the Bulls won the championships, but if you just look at those teams, especially for scoring, it was definitely tough, man. They had a bunch of teams that scored. They just couldn't get over the hump, bro. That's just the bottom line. Yeah. I'm sorry for
So what are we looking at the West right now? So right now the
Golden State.
The both series are well after tonight it should be 1-1, right? What's the score of the Timberwolves game right now?
53-37.
Yeah, Timberwolves are up. Timberwolves are up.
All right, so we're looking at 1-1 at each series.
I mean, I don't know. Ant hurt his ankle, so
yeah, he rolled his ankle.
Second,
I think they'll tape him maybe.
Second half is definitely going to be. I mean, Ant's not having a really good series.
No, right.
Easy that and I was talking to Jared about this game one. I think they're playing too much into Golden State's pace. They're looking for the three. They're looking to take the shots, which is allowing Golden State to be effective. And people don't like to give Golden State the credit for this. Golden State is a very good transition team. If you allow Golden State to get a quick rebound, get the ball into Draymond's hands, or I always butcher his name, Pradinsky,
yeah,
and you allow them to run the floor and get Steph moving. And as much as I don't like Buddy Hield, but if you leave Buddy Hield open in the corner, it's a shot that's definitely going to be made. So I think if they can slow the pace down, get into a good half court offense, or just even decent transition where you have numbers to allow them, because they don't have a true big that can run the floor and be a rim protector, they're going to lose this series, bro.
Okay. New England, what's your take on it?
My take on the obviously, I think the biggest question mark that all of us are having with the Minnesota and Golden State series is Steph going to be healthy for this series? I think that's a really big, talking point. Obviously, him with the hamstring injury, you don't know how these things are going to be. But also, I will let some people know that I really wouldn't force him to come back too soon. Reason being is because if you guys remember, his certain Splash brother had a hamstring a couple of games before he was in the finals, ends up playing in the finals, ends up tearing his ACL. So hamstrings and ACL go a lot together, especially when you're talking about, injuries of concern. So if you're the Warriors, if you're Steph Curry, I would sit on this injury. I would try to figure it out. I wouldn't force yourself to play if you don't absolutely have to, because it would stink to see him go down with a big injury. The other series, the Thunder and the Nuggets, that's also tied.
Last night, man.
That's also tied 1-1. I just think the Thunder's depth is going to, is going to win them this series. I love Jokic as a player. I love Jamal Murray. I don't think it's going to be enough to beat the Thunder team. I just don't.
So with that, what you just said about not bringing Curry back, so let me ask you guys this: if Ant rolled his ankle in this game, and do you sit him for the second half? Why bring him back, right? If you're winning,
right? Yeah,
depending on the severity of it. Yeah, I mean,
here's why, regardless of the severity issue of it, right? You already have DiVincenzo and Julius Randle literally once he went out, played that 2-man game to perfection. And you keep that up in the second half, you don't need to rush Ant back.
Right.
Nas Reed had a good shooting first half as well.
No. Chenzo didn't play that 2-man game perfect, bro. I'll say that.
So you're saying his passes weren't crisp and wouldn't need to be?
Fuck no, they weren't crisp.
I'm sitting here watching it.
Bro, I literally watched it with my own fucking eyes.
I'm sitting here watching it too.
He literally had 3 straight fucking turnovers.
No. Don't blame that all on him.
Look, you guys are not. You guys are not
he
moving.
dribbled straight into a fucking double team. What are you watching?
And I don't think they would have enough scoring anyway. Like, and even if he was to have his career game, I still don't think they would have. They need Ant scoring. They don't need Ant necessarily defensively because they do have a guy that protect the paint. I think they need Ant scoring. That's what he does the best. He plays great defense, but he scores the basketball at a very high clip. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So say what you want about who's the better scorer than him. I'm not saying he's the best scorer in the league, but they would miss that dramatically.
All right, so bold predictions here. Here we go. We're gonna move on. I will start with Wes. Wes, give me your bold prediction as it stands right now, the game's in right now. Who do you see in the NBA Finals from the East and from the West?
Oh,
It's a hard one. I get it.
Pause.
We ask hard-hitting questions on this podcast.
Pause.
okay. OKC.
Say it, damn it.
Yeah, I know you want me to say it. I can't say it because I'm too nervous about this game 3.
Don't be a punk, Wes. You don't come from that. Don't be a
Say it
punk.
with your chest, bro.
Say it with your fucking chest.
OKC versus the Knicks.
Okay, there we go.
Jared, Kirby, Jay Curbs.
Kirby. Can you not hear me or something?
How we can hear you?
Can't see you.
Hear you now.
Oh, what?
Welcome to the show, buddy.
Welcome to the show, buddy.
As of right now,
every Tuesday night,
who are you picking to go to the NBA Finals from the East and from the West?
Boston Timberwolves still. Not moving. Yo, Mitch, do you not remember you laughing at me when I said Timberwolves are going to the finals? You're like, they're not even in the playoffs yet.
I never said that. I said
bullshit. Run it back.
My pick was going to be the Knicks and the Timberwolves.
Yo, Mitch, you know what? I'm going to go find that clip and I'm going to post that shit.
You go find it, sir.
Yeah.
All right, Drew, who's your pick?
Finals. I am going to say
come on, bro.
Knicks OKC. That's what I want to see.
Come on, bro.
That's what I want to see in the finals.
Come on,
bro.
I mean, I put a bid up. I ain't gonna go against my video. That's why I ain't got no motherfucking followers on the backup page now. I'm gonna stick to it. OKC versus the Knicks. That's been up for weeks now. So I'm gonna stick to it.
Mr. Billy B.
OKC and Indy.
Ooh, okay. New England.
Boston and Golden State.
You want that you want that get back. You not low. You not low.
I'm going to say what I said. I think it's going to be the Knicks and the Timberwolves. That's what I would like to see. Only because I want to see us beat Julius Randle, and I want to see a very emotional DiVincenzo at the end of the game.
So, I can tell you this right now, bro. If the Knicks and the Minnesota Timberwolves end up in the finals, that means that Ant is playing at a very high clip.
I agree.
I'll tell you that.
All right. We had a trade go down in the NFL this week.
Okay.
What?
I called it. New England, back me. Forever.
We've been saying it.
The Steelers were going to move on from George Pickens. As I said it earlier today, Drew and I almost said it simultaneously that when DK Metcalf joined that team, they gave him George Pickens' money, and that relationship was done. That was like a bad marriage at that point. It's a wrap. They were going to trade him. So George Pickens now gets traded to the Dallas Cowboys for a bag of Skittles and some Funyuns, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to Drew first. And Drew, here's my question to you. What are the after effects for the Steelers on this trade?
Uh,
Bad.
I mean, still got to figure out the quarterback issue. You're back to a one receiver set. Like, and listen, if Aaron Rodgers, because that's where the aim is looking. It's looking like Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
No, and I'm not trying to make. I listen, Ryan. I know you went through Aaron Rodgers hell, but Aaron Rodgers is going to step into the building. He's going to ask for Alan Lazard to get a deal, which is going to burn money.
They're gonna have to trade for him. They will have to trade for him.
Listen. They're going to ask for Lazard because that's his little running mate. I don't think they'll be as foolish as the Knicks were and offer Cobb anything.
No.
But
Packers, not the Knicks, not the Knicks.
I'm sorry. The Jets. Excuse me, the Jets. I don't think the Jets will be as crazy to offer Cobb anything, but I just it's not moving it for me. Like the needle is still where it's at, bro, and I feel bad because Tomlin's going to end up being fired because of this.
Okay, Kirby. What is the implications for Dallas getting George Pickens?
He may be using the bathroom.
Welcome to the show, Kirby.
All right, bro. Same that question. What does it do? What does it do for Dallas?
Well, I can't help myself. So I think for Dallas, this is a good move for them just because it gives him a different entity of quarterback play. He has not played with great quarterbacks. He has not played with a quarterback that could get him the football. We've seen Dakota Prescott get the football to receivers now in the regular season. Now in the playoffs, that's a different entity. But I do think it's a great move for Dallas because he doesn't have the pressure of a number one receiver like he did with bum ass quarterback play. No pun intended, Dakota. And I do think it works for them. And we'll see what this offense is going to look like under a new regime. I do want to touch on Pittsburgh for a second, just like Bro was just talking about when it pertained to the Pittsburgh Steelers with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, you knew that at some point, Aaron Rodgers still could get the football to two guys that would demand attention. And for you to trade him away because you don't want to pay him is one thing, but maybe it was more to it. And so I don't see no validity toward just trading him right now. That makes no sense. And you still don't even have a quarterback. You're making your team even worse for a quarterback that had a terrible season. So to me, that was just the dumbest shit in the world. Now I thought this year would be the year that they would let Tomlin go or he would walk away and go somewhere else. It's definitely going to happen this offseason. So.
Okay. New England.
What's up?
Does this propel Dallas past Washington?
Well, I've told everybody how I feel about Washington going into next year, but
There he is.
I think Washington next year has the potential to miss the postseason. I've said that on numerous occasions the last couple of weeks. I think it's a team last year that won the most one-score games out of anybody last year. I don't think that's redoable. I don't think that's repeatable. But I don't think that this propels Dallas into the second spot. I don't. I think that Washington will still finish with a better record than them. I just don't know if it's enough to make the postseason.
Okay.
The only thing I'll say to you, Mitch, is this: the only thing that the Cowboys have fixed is maybe a wide receiver too, and they got a great offensive guard high in the draft. they still have a lot more pieces.
No, I agree. I'd like to welcome to the show. Never too late. He may look like he's a big guy, but he's that's our guy. I got a question for you though, Stino.
What's happening, man? What's happening?
What's your favorite basketball team's record in the playoffs right now?
Better than the Knicks, I think.
Oh wow!
Wow, I was about to give you your
No.
props.
I'm just fucking. I'm just fucking with
Eddie,
you.
motherfucker, you.
We
Both 2-0.
we
We both 2-0.
We're both 2-0, you piece of shit. Fuck you. How about that?
You're right.
Chat, that's what you call coming in and standing on business.
No, he's not saying. He's saying on I don't know business because I was trying to get you to throw shade at the fucking Celtics, but you want to throw shade at the Knicks. You know what? Fuck you. Fuck Halliburton. How about that?
The Celtics throwing enough shade at themselves right now, man. They don't need my help.
That is facts.
We don't need you to be throwing shade at the Knicks, sir.
I'm sorry.
Jackass.
Don't apologize.
So I was box watching a live today while at work, and someone said that the Cowboys have the best wide receiver duo in the NFL.
Don't do that.
And I'm sorry, in the NFC. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to bring this up on the podcast. So while I don't think they have the best wide receiver duo in the NFC, I can honestly say, in just fair assessment of it, they might be fifth or sixth, depending on how it plays out. I think that there are
putting Minnesota ahead of them.
Huh?
I'm putting Minnesota's wide receiver.
So in no particular order, these are the four receiver duos that I have above the Cowboys.
All right.
I've got Puka.
Everyone get ready because I want everyone to give me your top five. Or if Dallas is 5, we'll put Dallas at 5.
Mm-hmm.
Give me your 4 others, and then in no particular order. Drew, you go first.
So I've got Puka and Devontae as a duo. I've got Jettas and Addison.
Okay.
I've got AJ and Smitty.
Okay.
From the Eagles. And I've got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin when healthy.
Okay. So those are good 4. All right, New England, who you got?
It's Drew. It's the same 4 in the same order.
Right.
Yeah.
Would everyone agree with that?
I think it's definitely agreeable. I can definitely agree with it. I'm trying to think if I could slide because Pickens. I mean, the last time we saw George Pickens, say what you want about Russell Wilson, he didn't play well at all. I think he had 1 catch, 2 catches, and he had 4. He had more drops than he had catches. So he has a lot to prove as well. He's not just playing to get that contract. He's not going to get that contract unless they strongly believe that he will play better with Dakota Prescott. So that's what I think is more important, ranking them ahead of Super Bowl champions and guys who have put it together. And let's not forget, and people are just degrading what's in Washington right now. And I think that Debo and Scary Terry are going to be a problem.
Yeah. So, hold on, wait, bro. And now I was being nice with that, right? I was being nice because if we're looking at it and going off of what Bro just said, I don't think it's the Dak Prescott factor. I think it's more of what Pickens is going to do in that receiver core. How is he going to fill in as that true number 2 that they need? Is he going to control his attitude?
Right.
Is he going to be?
Shots is he going to have? You know
exactly right. But I'm gonna be real with you. I honestly think that they're the 7th, maybe the 7th best receiver duo, because if you think about Cooper Kupp and JSN,
that's nasty too.
And then and I don't want to sound like a homer, but DJ and Rome
could easily be very high.
With Burton as a side piece now?
Yeah.
If we're talking trio, they fall way further down the list.
I was told last night that George Pickens clears DJ Moore, and it's kind of not close.
Not even his Carolina days, bro. Not his.
Oh. Bro, and here's the thing about that, and Pickens, and I had this discussion earlier, and shout out to Clifford for bringing this up and
Big Red Dog.
wanting to make it a casual statement. Pickens over his career has a 65% drop rate when targeted more than 8 times in a game. 65% drop rate.
Shout out to Belly B.
Their
Yo,
main,
I mean, I'm going to go to the chat and I see Trav and he says Cortland and Mims.
yeah.
I mean, I'd honestly maybe take them over fucking.
Yo,
But,
and if
but we
you
were
in the
just
AFC,
nah,
talking.
yeah, if we're talking
Right, but
that's
I'm just saying,
AFC.
like, you know,
If we're
No, I
talking
was at- I
total
was
NFL,
Oh, if it's total
total
NFL, they
NFL,
are
they're not
beyond
in the top 15.
below the top 10.
yeah, I
I
wouldn't even
was
say top
actually-
15.
I was
I wouldn't
actually kind of having that debate last night with Bo as well, bro. Cortland Sutton and George Pickens was the debate for about 10, 15 minutes. But one thing about look, I love Cortland, but one thing about Cortland, man, he gotta get them drops under control, bro. He had 9 drops last year. 9 drops is kind of crazy right now. You feel me? That's not really helping your rookie quarterback a lot. Don't get me wrong, Cortland was great last year. I'm not taking nothing away from him.
Right, but he could have been like
those-
to your
those
point.
drops are
bit better,
concerning.
right. No, I mean, well, we could talk for days about that team. I think I said it, and I'll say it again. One of my early predictions that I think it's their division to lose. I know it sounds crazy because Kansas City still went to the Super Bowl, but they got tremendously better in the offseason. Tremendously better. It's not even it's like the Bears got tremendously better in the offseason. The Broncos got better in the offseason. The Raiders got better in the offseason. The Bills got better in the off. These teams are getting better. And teams like the Lions and Lion fans, listen, get your CPAP machines or your whatever machines you need to keep your body going at night or whatever. But listen, you lost coaches and players. You lost coaches and players.
Get your brown paper bags ready. Yeah.
Look, listen, I would not be surprised if the Lions hit the back of the road in that division this year. You know?
Well, that's a bit much.
say that.
That's a bit
So,
much.
so Mitch,
Wait, Belly, hold on a second. You say it's a bit much, but let me ask you this. Hold on a second. It is a lot much, but let me ask you this. Look what they lost, right? Coaching, just coaching wise. They lost like 5 coaches.
Your entire system.
Yeah,
It's different.
everything.
Right?
Everything's
You lost
gone.
key pieces on your defense. And we said it here all the fucking time. Guys coming back from injuries are not always the same. And you got a young kid like Aiden who had a bad injury like he did. He what if he decides to baby it a little bit, right? Well, what if he decides to go full bore and he hurts himself again?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so first of all, me personally, even if he returns to the level of what we saw or even better, I still don't think that defensively they've proven yet that they'll be better from that standpoint, to be honest. So I agree with you from that aspect. Where I disagree slightly is I'm looking at the quarterback play in the division. And people always seem to want to take this quarterback and make it seem as if he's playing for the Chargers. He's not. You say what you want about what he does in these moments. He is still at the top. I mean, may not be the first guy, may not be the most accurate guy, but if you look at his play, you can't tell me that he is going to play worse than how Green Bay's quarterback's been playing in his last 2 years. Right. Until he steps up to the plate and does what he needs to do, you have to say that Detroit will be slightly better just from that standpoint. So my thing is, I think that Chicago, I hope that this is the year that they won't fucking let me down. I'm continuously for the last 3 years saying how great they'll be, right? Okay. This is the year that they actually take that step forward from the quarterback play as well as the team, as well as the coaching that goes with the team, right? But if you look at that division from top to bottom, the only question mark or the biggest question mark that comes to that division starts with what is the second-year quarterback that didn't play last year going to do for Minnesota? Yep. What is the quarterback that got the money last year for Green Bay? What is the quarterback going to return with after having such a breakout year for the Detroit Lions? And we still don't know what the quarterback play will be in Chicago, bro. So if you're looking at the consistency of the division, the quarterback in Detroit has been the best.
You're right.
So
there's no denying that. There is no denying that. But I think
all.
again, Chicago got exponentially better. I think if Sam Howell gets a chance, Sam Howell.
Oh God, Lord Jesus.
Hey man, shout out to Jack Foley. I'm gonna ride that train with my boy Jack Foley, man.
Well, he clearly is very much happy now that he's not in Washington. I can tell you that.
I was at a pause, Drew. I'm gonna ride. Man, you know what, Drew?
Stop it.
I'm gonna say this.
Just gotta think about it. I'm just saying.
I think that so Sam Howell in Minnesota, he got targets to throw the balls here.
And that is exactly what I said. And I said this about Sam Howell last year when I said, and yes, I was wrong on my take where I said that I can see Sam Howell taking that starting position in that 1-year deal with the Seahawks, because we saw what he did with Scary Terry and that weak receiving core that they had when he was there, bro. Like, I think he threw for like over 3,000 yards, and he only had
4,000 yards.
At 4,000 yards, he only had one true receiver to really throw to. He had a lot of yards going to his running back.
Hey, Drew. But didn't Sam Howell, when he got traded to Seattle, he was kind of already known at that point as like, yeah, you're the backup because they had paid Geno.
Yeah, they paid Geno. Yeah.
So Drew, my question to you is this: like, didn't Jaden Daniels this year kind of do what Sam Howell was supposed to do?
No.
With the same weapons, everything.
Oh,
he had Scary Terry.
I think he did. I think he did better because and Bro has agreed with me on this. Mitch has agreed with me on this. They brought in a young guy to reset the market, and they built for him. Sam Howell had no offensive line his entire career in Washington.
No run back.
He chucked 4,000 yards, bro.
Right.
He also had Snyder and an old regime.
Yeah, and an old regime that were stuck in their ways on the playbook. So nothing that they had for him was built for him. So he had to go with what they had planned and still threw 4,000 yards. To me, in value, that moves the needle.
But to your point, Drew, in what he did in Washington with no O-line, no running game, look at what he's going, and coaching staff, let's put that into perspective. Look at what he's going to into Minnesota. You have literally Aaron Jones can move to that receiving aspect that he's comfortable in, and you have Jordan Mason, you have Hawkinson, Addison. They just brought in that receiver from Oregon that could sit there and play as a rotational piece in the slot, and you know exactly where I'm going at with that. And you have an O-line.
Spaced out. Go 5 wide with them.
So I think, I mean, obviously I can't argue the 4,000 yards and what he did with a not so very good team outside of Scary Terry, right? I agree with that aspect, right? But let's also keep in mind, one, this is a potential starter. He's not even penciled in as a starter yet. That's the first. And if he was as good as they thought, he would be the starter, and they would care less about J.J. McCarthy. He was brought in for a reason, so I do agree. But let's also keep in mind for those Washington yardage, they won 4 games. And the majority of those games, they were losing, which means they had to throw the ball. So it's not like he threw for those yards and they were in those games and they were potentially winning. They were getting their ass kicked, which means that the first 2-3 quarters, he was ass.
The only thing I'm going to say to you is this, bro. The only caveat to everything that you just said was that with Sam Howell, I just think it's a different situation, man. I don't know. I agree with you. It was a lot of garbage yards and a lot of.
It was a lot.
No, Mitch, I know exactly what it is. It's the fact that last year you saw Kevin O'Connell do what he did with Sam Darnold. Mm-hmm. So now you know it's doable. Now you know Kevin O'Connell can do that with somebody of a caliber player.
Yeah,
like
but
that.
if you're talking about Washington, it's not really garbage time yards or anything like that that you put into perspective. They literally passed the ball
all they
45 to
had.
50.
Well, and then
They,
also,
Don't
bro,
look at those
the
games,
one thing
bro.
with him is
bro,
the
they were
reason
still
I think
passing.
hold on, Billy. I think the reason he hasn't been named starter yet is because they don't know what JJ's lingering injury has been, and then also they brought him in, so he's a backup. Was a backup the last 2 years or year and a half, whatever he's been. That's gonna be a fight in the off season, right? To see who performs better in practice and in preseason, who's gonna get that job. So.
And you go back to that with the comment, bro, you said about Washington, right? Let's put that into perspective. They were literally throwing the ball 45 to 50 times a game and literally passing 50% more than what they rushed in the first half. So I would say that's garbage time yards. They were doing that
So,
because
No, it was garbage time. It was garbage.
yeah, but
I
you're
was gonna
talking
say
about
the ball.
1 or 2 games, bro. If you just okay, so what we'll do is tonight we'll go over those games, and I can assure you that at least 7 of those games they were getting their ass kicked, or the game was pretty much over with, and he was throwing the ball that many times. I can name 2 games to you. One game in particular that I thought I was wrong. It was the Philly game. They played against Philly. It was a close game, and he had a hell of a game. He looked like the next coming. He looked like the guy every Washington fan wanted him to be. And
Oh,
then
must
the
be
next
Sam
week
Howell.
they played against the Bills. They get blew
Yes.
out. And then you're looking at his yardage. He threw for 300 yards against the Bills. But guess what? He also had 2 interceptions and a fumble. So it's like there's more context to it than just the 4,000 yards, bro. I'm sure they
I
only got
agree.
4
I
wins.
agree.
He is
Right.
sticky.
Right.
No, so again, but I guess going back to the original, I think I'm with Drew. Like for Pittsburgh, I think this is going to be Tomlin's first season as a losing with a losing record, and he's gonna lose his job. With Dallas, I don't see them moving. I don't see this move making them move above Washington. I think Philly obviously wins that division, and I think Washington's second place. I
Yes.
mean, that is. I mean, that's now we mentioned the. I have to say this just because right before we went live tonight, I myself was. It would shout to my man J Dub. We were in J Dub's live, and the professor joined us. Detroit Ghost. And this is maybe one of the most casual statements I've ever heard in my life. And so,
Why do you guys let that
I
motherfucker up on your panels, bro?
because it was J Dub, wasn't me. So I am not nominating. I've already made the arrangements. He has a car on the way. He is officially part of the gulag.
We'll throw away the key.
And because he said this following statement that the Dolphins in the off season have gotten exponentially better, but I think they're still going to be in last place.
They had one of the worst drafts, bro.
Ever.
They had one of
nothing. They're going to lose Jalen Ramsey. They're potentially going to lose Tyreek Hill. They already lost Mostert. Their quarterback is a hit away from being in a convalescent home. Their coach
Get away from being Christopher Reeves. What do you mean?
Captain CTE.
I was trying to be nice. Well, he's a hit away from being like a Pittsburgh Pirates fan. And
hey, don't worry, man. They
Don't
got
do
the
that.
great Quinn Ewers back there to back him up, bro.
Damn,
He may be a
Mitch,
starter by week 5.
Mitch, you're on timeout. Mitch, you're on timeout.
That was cold.
You're on timeout.
Detroit Ghost, if I know you're not listening because we don't have Wi-Fi in the gulag right now. You have your own suite in the gulag, sir. That was the dumbest statement I've ever heard in my life, personally.
So
He's got the Capone cell.
can we get Kansas to usher people into the gulag?
Yes.
Like
Yes,
someone needs. So we need to have Kansas.
He's still
Yeah,
working.
no. So I wanted to tell you guys this. I had a set of keys made. I had an extra set of keys made, and I've officially given them to Kansas. So I think we need to have Kansas put out some content and say, hey, welcome to the gulag.
He is now the gulag cutioner.
Yes.
So, hey, Jared, since that's your boy, we need Kansas. to just do a little quick video, say, "Welcome to the gulag."
No, that's not gonna be the voice.
Hey,
You
listen,
are
hey,
next.
listen. He has to do it with a
You
hat
are
on because that
next.
forehead is like this big. So see the forehead. But yeah, welcome.
I want to know. I want to know what would make someone as smart and intelligent as Detroit Ghosts to say that a team that has
Hey,
or
you
is
couldn't have said it
about
with
to
a straight
lose
face.
said teammates, right? With those same guys, they couldn't get the job done. What makes you think that without those guys, they're going to get the job? It's just annoying. He's stupid. Fuck it, I said it. Okay.
I totally agree. I totally agree. I think it was a dumb statement. I think it's another thing that's fucking dumb that's driving me crazy is these strength of schedules. A fucking game hasn't been played yet. Trades haven't even been completed yet. There's no strength. I don't care who has the weakest schedule. We had a Cowboy fan. What's his name? Cliffy, the big dog, whatever. Clifford, whatever his name is.
The big
Bro,
The
red.
big
Mitch,
dog.
Mitch,
Big red
Mitch,
dog.
yo, did you realize he immediately went on pause as soon as I put up that Jalen and Dak have
Oh,
only
yeah.
played 3
So
times?
No, strength of schedule doesn't matter, Mitch.
It
It doesn't.
never matters. It
never
Bro,
does.
never
that's all I've
matters,
heard.
Never
bro.
matters.
That's all I've heard from
Well,
Cowboys.
they got the Bills as the 5th easiest schedule, and I can tell you right now that is not going to be the case by week 5.
Yo,
And
It's not going to be the case.
so
I don't know where they get this shit from.
I've heard nothing but Cowboys and Giants fans talk about how their strength of schedule is going to matter. There was this dude, Brady Witz, that said that the Cowboys and the Giants both could, and that division alone could all finish with double-digit wins.
He should have been
Whoa.
kicked. He should have been kicked. As soon as he said that, he shouldn't have been able to finish that.
He should have been tested,
Panel
bro.
quick as dope. Panel dope of all people dropped him from her own panel.
Oh, like
That
yo,
was
yo,
smart.
listen, yo, this
That's
is
a
a
casualty in
PSA.
itself.
That was
This
smart.
is a PSA. If you're a casual, please seek help now.
Hold on, Drew. Can I get you to say that again for me, please?
Yo, if you're a casual, please, for your own sake, seek help. Dr. Steno Esquire is a wonderful therapist. He will help you evaluate your casualness. Doctor,
He might, Drew. He might even blow you a kiss.
that's crazy.
Hey, yo.
That is crazy.
No,
He did it, bro.
Doctor
Brother,
Doctor
Brother,
Yukon
ew.
Dr. Yukon Aloysius will help you with your statistical value
Yeah.
and expert
Shout out to Trav. He goes, yo, Cheddar Bob, chill.
Cheddar Bob. Cheddar
I'm
Bob.
just, I'm
Shout
gonna
out
be
to
honest.
Trav. Shout
I'm
out
just
to
gonna
Trav.
give you a lobotomy because I want you to shut up.
Yeah. If you get to Dr. Curbs, yeah, it's over for you. Yo,
Yeah.
and listen, we got Dr. Brobro who will actually he'll teach
Look at
you
the
about
eyes. He's like,
he'll teach you about the doofusism and how bad it is. We've got the professor Shakeup, who is very knowledgeable about the sport, and then Dr. West.
Troublemaker too.
Dr. West, one of the calmest and most educated professors that we have on this panel, bro. So please, casuals, get your life in shape because by my watch, football season has started. And this year we have no space for casual football takes, comments, or remarks.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You will get put on ice and the gulag is open.
Hey,
Put it.
and speaking of casual, just to recap, we have been challenged.
Oh,
The
have we
Nomad
now?
Nation has been challenged by the I guess they're a bunch of movers, not move. Oh no, they're on strike. Not moved podcast.
Yo, wait a minute. So we just got challenged by a bunch of guys who move furniture that aren't working anymore.
Yes.
This is funny.
wow.
This is funny.
We'll be able to show Southgate, the Northgate, and kick his ass out of here.
Oh, we gotta
Nah,
get
man, that
bets.
motherfucker's in a retirement home, bro.
That's crazy.
But no, so again, if you want to be part of the Nomad team, you know what to do. Hit us up. That's what we do. We already got a squad, but we're always willing to add, and just show motherfuckers what's it all about. So I mean, it is what it is, man. At this point,
I'm calling
Steve,
alone on somebody. Forget that, bro.
I just want to say, I'm happy to see you, brother. I'm happy for your Pacers that they're 2-0, like my Knicks are 2-0.
Yeah, y'all hooping too, man.
But I have a question for you.
For anybody that talks shit in the regular season about the signing of Mikal Bridges, please go eat a cow hoof right now, please, because y'all really look tremendously stupid at this. Tremendous.
18 points in the fourth quarter, bro.
He's balling, bro.
Dude, he killed it yesterday. Like he just woke up and then
Now,
both games,
in game one.
both games he has the turnover at the end to end the game.
Bro, in overtime in game one, that man was responsible for 3 steals and 2 blocks.
Right.
And
Some centers don't even get that in 3 games.
Big blocks.
which is why I don't respect guys who they want to take the player that can score 40 points but can't defend, like a Luka Doncic, and not talk about defense as if defense isn't as important. You can't tell me that a guy is a top 2, top 3 player in the league when you have guys that play both ends of the court just as well, or if not better, especially when it pertains to defense, and they're not hired. Ant-Man is a better basketball player than Luka Doncic. I don't care what nobody says.
Right.
He's a better basketball player, bro. You can't tell me that just because you can put up 50 points and then run around because people are allowing you to fucking shoot threes and you look at the crowd, but then on defense you flopping around like your name is Lithuanian LeBron James. That makes no sense to me.
Oh,
I love that.
Whoa, I knew
That
that
was a bit much. I'm sorry,
I
Lithuanian.
knew that was coming. That was good. Wait.
I meant nothing.
No. I need that one more time. Run it back.
Bro, I just don't understand why.
Bro. No, bro.
Copyright that. Copyright that, bro.
Bro, I need you to run that back for me one more time.
These bitch ass Lithuanian.
Lithuanian LeBron James. Lithuanian LeBron James.
T-shirt near you. Thank you very much.
Wolves, bro. Go Wolves.
Sorry, from
Lithuania. Right. It just makes no sense, bro. I mean, if you look at guys like Cat, right, and you say, okay, he doesn't necessarily do the things that we seen Kevin Garnett do as far as defense, but he does rebound just as good. He does, when he's on his game, play offense just as good. So why would I take a player like him and not rate him higher than a guy like Luka, bro? Luka, you can't. To me, now I'm not saying that I would rather have Pat than Luka. What I am saying is that if Luka is my best player on my team, that means that I have to have defensive players that can stop people. If you don't have that, and you got one other guy that could potentially play defense or two, and they're not as good as what was in Dallas last year when they went to the finals, or what would be with a team like a Chicago team from back in the day with Derrick Rose, and then when they could, defend well as a team, bro, Luka's an average player. Mm-hmm. Not saying that he can't score, but you have to defend, bro. We are looking at him right now. You look at that series against Minnesota, bro. He's on the floor flopping more than he was actually being a difference maker on defensive end, bro. So I'm not going to do
it. They tried to hide him in zone too, bro.
That's right. Why you think that is?
Did a piss poor job because that zone was disgusting.
Right.
That zone was disgusting, bro. And I said this.
Give me a score update. What's the score of the game?
78-62.
Yeah.
And I said this. Not having a big, right? And this is why I said Dallas won the trade. You let go, arguably at the point of the trade, a top 3, top 5 vote getter in MVP through the year in Anthony Davis.
And top 3 in defensive player of the year.
And top 3 in defensive player of the year, right? And when the Lakers finally started getting their footing, because they were winning games early and they weren't quite there yet, but when they started getting the footing and getting the traction with AD scoring, Austin Reeves was coming into his own, LeBron was giving you his 25 a night here and there. You had guys like Rui coming off the bench, giving you some output, right? Then you trade him for a guy like Luka, and yes, the offensive output was such a marginal jump, but you lost your rim protector. Jackson Hayes is not a rim protector, bro. I'm sorry. He reminds me of early JaVale McGee. And if you remember early JaVale McGee, bro, Yo, he couldn't defend on a bitty rim.
Right.
And no knock to JaVale because JaVale turned
He
out
got
to be
better.
a very good
He got
rim
better.
defender.
Yeah.
But Jackson Hayes cannot defend the rim, bro. And they were exploiting that on zone.
It's not even that, Drew. I also think that the reason why Dallas was so good when Luka was there was the fact that they had 3 centers that they could play at any given time. And also another thing that helped Luka also was the fact that I think it was 6 or if not 7 of them shot over 35% from 3 last year. So when you have shooters around you with a point guard like that, it's gonna help on the defensive end, I think, a little bit. But when you don't have that, it's a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. So, hey, listen, the lights are flickering over here, so I think we're about to get hit DEFCON 5 over here.
Oh yeah, y'all about to turn it up in the strip club? Okay, Mitch, go ahead.
But before I go, I have to say this. For all you casual baseball fans out there that talk shit about Aaron Judge, go look at his fucking batting average. Yeah, you in the middle there with the big forehead. Yes, you with 2 names.
Me?
Whatever, bro. No, you shut up. You don't talk about it.
Mitch,
No,
he-
Still doing better.
it's the Boston Red Sox fan that was at a Yankee game
Oh.
wearing a Yankee hat. Just saying.
Well, first of all, that Yankee hat was my guy here, my friend here that I'm sitting with. And he's sitting there looking stupid in the face. But so when my first time going to Yankee Stadium, he forced me to buy a Yankee hat,
As
and I
he should.
refused to buy the hat. However, there was a red Yankee hat, and so that was my way of saying, "Okay, fuckface, I'll buy the hat. It's red." And
I have a red Yankee hat.
enjoyed the experience to being at Yankee Stadium. But I will say this about Judge. At the game I was at a couple days ago, I think that was last week. The Yankees lost the game, but his presence at the plate, bro, like he puts the fear of God in not only just the pitcher, but he puts the fear of God in the team. They all like soon as it was the guy struck, I think he struck out who was ahead of him. I think the guy that day struck out ahead of him, and this was in like the bottom of the third, I think, bro. They all they you could literally see them. You could literally see the out and the infields talking to you, bro. He just puts fear in it, and he got on base twice. He went 2 for 4, 2 singles, made sure his presence was felt at the plate. But I just paid attention to not only him, making contact with the ball, but also the fear that he puts in, pitchers and teams. So I give him all his credit in the world, even though he's a fucking Yankee. I give him his credit. He's a great player.
Shut up, Belly B. I don't want to hear your freaking mouth.
Ryan, we can't talk after what we did against the Giants.
Oh yeah, listen.
Hey, I'm still gonna talk.
Nah, don't do that.
No,
don't
you
do
can't
that.
talk
Don't
after
do
that
that.
shit, bro.
Don't do that, bro. You
Nah.
forced extra innings to give up
Yeah, that
6
was
runs, bro.
No, Drew, it was 9. It was 9.
It was
9.
Nine?
Yo, how you give up 9 runs, bro? Like, yo, my man, pay
Gave up
everyone
9
who stayed.
runs in the 11th.
Yeah, I know.
Yo, I need to pay people's taxes for that, bro. Like, yo, you mean to tell me I stayed here to watch y'all force extra innings and then you lose? I gotta be to work tomorrow, bro.
I almost started to fill out an application for another team. I'm not.
Yo, listen, come to the pinstripes,
Stino
bro.
was in voice with
man,
Drew and I,
please.
bro. Stino was in voice with Drew and I, and he's like, guys, it is the 11th inning. And may I remind you, he said it was like 5-5 or something. He's like, it is 11-5 right now. And then he goes, well,
2 outs.
it's 14-5 now. I'm like, Stino, turn it off.
Just
turn it off,
bro. You gave up that many runs with 2 outs. Listen, the whole team just move everybody back to single and double A.
Right. Don't
bring
do
everybody up from there.
Don't do that.
Yo, I want to give a special shout out to my man, New England Shakeup. You are always welcome on this show.
Yeah,
Appreciate it, man.
That's my dog.
Always welcome here. You always got a home here, and like I said, we're bringing you in as a designated hitter on the showdown. Again, go JB. I will hit you up. We'll talk. We'll set it up. We'll put it on the podcast. You know I love you, brother. I'm just happy
Hey, I love you guys too, man. Y'all the goats, man. Y'all the
Keep
goats.
Bro,
kissing
bro.
to the Ejectocito.
Curves to Belly to Drew to Wes. Listen,
5.
thanks for always moving the needle and being the best podcast out there. Thank you for being.
I'm glad we moved people too.
I mean, listen. I just want you to just one last thing, not moved or whatever, we're moving company, whatever the fuck your name is. Listen, we have ended podcast history.
We've forced rebrand.
Changed their name
Yo, Mitch, we've forced people to rebrand
like 50 times in a week. Right?
Oh God!
Listen, it's been so bad. Listen, no, it was so bad that there was a podcast that was formed, and then Conakin went up against us and didn't even make it past that evening. So listen, I'm not here to boast. I'm not here to puff out the chest and say anything. We don't need to prove we're the best because we are the best. If you want the best sports knowledge year round, you want the best football knowledge year round, you want to make money and win rings on fantasy, there's only one place to go, and that's the No Man Fantasy Sports Podcast. Mr. Eason.
One thing, let me shout out my daughter. Hopefully, she's got a big test tomorrow. She's got to take. She should be studying.
I already studied. Oh,
You see her rocking the No Man.
Yeah,
I just want everyone to know that she's rocking the No Man.
Miss, this is one of the OG shirts.
OG shirt.
She gonna ace it. She's cooling down right now.
You feel me?
No cramming. No cramming.
I just want everyone to know that's my niece Jamie. That's my baby. I love that girl. That is my heart and soul.
Okay, calm down.
Hey, well, hold on, Jamie. Come back into the picture for a second, Jamie.
what's up?
Can you do me a favor and tell the world who your favorite uncle is?
You.
Oh,
Okay.
Shots
Okay.
fired. Shots fired. Shots fired.
Another this.
Right.
The only reason why I'm letting this go is because that's Wes's daughter. Otherwise, I would have cursed you out. So I'm just letting you know.
Oh,
That's
yo,
my
wait,
niece, man.
wait, Mitch.
No, I'm talking about you. I'm not going to curse the child. What's wrong with you? I'm talking about you. What are you talking about?
So you have to ask New England the question though.
Oh, New England. Before you go,
What
I need you
Well,
to name a random and a totally random city and
it's
state
been a minute.
in the United States.
Damn, it's been a minute since I've heard this.
Name a random city.
And random city and state in the United States of America. Not in Lithuania, like the Lithuania. That's a fucking
Lithuanian LeBron James.
I am making a fucking t-shirt. I'm telling you that.
Tallahassee, Florida.
No, wait. What did you just say?
Tallahassee, Florida.
Tallahassee, Florida, he said.
Drew.
Yo, that's crazy, bro.
Okay, so I called Drew today around 1:30, right? Because just so you know, New England, Drew does all the the analytics and everything, numbers of where we're at. Drew, where did you tell me we were number one now?
Tallahassee, Florida, bro.
Listen, I can't call it, people. No matter where you are in America, no matter where you are in Lithuania, no matter where you are at in this world, No Man Fantasy Sports Podcast is number one. What you have, we perfected. What you want is who we are. So shout out to the peoples. Shout out to everyone out there that's struggling. Listen, it's Mental Health Awareness Month. So if you got any issues, find a friend. We're here for you.
Talk to it. Yes, right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Even if you are a casual, we'll help you. Then we'll send you back to the gulag.
Mm-hmm.
We'll help you. And then listen, two things for sure. Number one is when I say we're done, the ejecto seat goes off and we don't see Stino the rest of the night. And Drew, number two, as it always is, Drew,